let's start with a little bit of Benjamin F. Edwards. Tell me just some nuggets on that history, because I think it's a fascinating story.
Well, the history goes back to the late 1800s. Originally, A.G. Edwards and then President Abraham Lincoln were best friends. And so he was appointed, A.G. Edwards, as Secretary of the Treasury under Abraham Lincoln just months before the assassination. The family created A.G. Edwards in St. Louis, a family-based, Midwestern-based financial service firm, which dealt with primarily banks at the time, because it didn't have really a market of retail investors like you would have today, because there was no internet and there was no you and I doing it that way. But the family has maintained involvement, not just ownership and operation of the company, but involvement with every aspect of the company. If I pick up the telephone and want to talk to Tad Edwards, he'll answer the telephone. He calls every employee on his birthday.
He texted me the other night.
Yeah, so the other night he sends out a text message about a crazy ruling that he saw from the European Tour for a golfer and what happened when the golfer's ball went in the water. But this is late at night, 9 o'clock at night. He sends it out to a handful of people in the company. That personal relationship is what carries through, not just from the top down in management, but from every one of us to the client. Because if you don't have that, you have nothing.
What are some of the ways in which your company adapted because of COVID that you feel are particularly impressive?
Like so many of the companies that were forced under COVID or shut down, everybody was able to work artificially from home. Everybody was able to take their laptop, whether it was our staff or the advisors, and operate out of their house almost seamlessly, where clients, although they knew we were working from home, they didn't know any different.
Yeah.
Other than the fact they couldn't walk into an office and have coffee with you, nothing changed. If you felt uncomfortable about coming to work, then you could work from home. For example, I'll use my office as an example. Some of the ladies have small children, and the schools, as we all know, have been inconsistent with what's open, what's closed, and when it's open and closed. And so I set up an office so that they could bring the kids in here so they could work if they chose to, and the kids would have a dedicated space closed off for just their family, nobody else, and they could work, and the individual didn't have to miss work, but if they wanted to stay home, they could work from home. And so the company supported flexibility. If it wanted to work from home for 3 weeks, you work from home for 3 weeks. Just because last year was a strange year, you don't stop being part of your community. And as a result, whether we were part of the community locally with charitable events, how to help, whether it's a food pantry or schools or books for kids, or sporting events that didn't take place but just supported the kids anyway in our communities, you were still part of it, and you were encouraged to stay as actively part of that as possible, even though we were shut down.
You no doubt have fielded hundreds of calls or thousands of calls over the last year as various clients at different sophistications within the market called and said, oh my God, what's happening? You know, what's going on? It's going up, it's going down, oh my God, it's going down a ton. Should it be this sector? Should it be that sector? Tell me a little bit about how you provide that voice of reason for those folks as their anxiety might go up and down a little bit.
When artificially the government or the world governments create a stoppage of all businesses back in March of last year, basically a year ago, we get everybody nervous because the markets drop precipitously with the unsuredness, unknowingness of what's going to happen next. So clients start to call in, even though we could all work from home at that point, clients start to call in and start to panic. But I will say that in this office, every single advisor did a great job of reaching out to their clients, fielding those phone calls, explaining to the clients that if we take a deep breath and let nature take its course, that it shouldn't be that long before we would open up. We didn't know that it was going to take 12 months to open up. We all thought it 30 days later things would happen.
How do people come and find about you?
Pretty much in our industry, it's based on reputational referrals. And so for us doing a good job with one, we know that this person is going to tell somebody, and the old adage, if you don't do a good job, they tell 10 other people. And so that works so true in our industry. So if we're doing a good job with our clients, we never hesitate to say to a client, is there somebody Mr. Smith that might benefit from what I do, or I might be able to help.
Yeah.
And our clients are great about saying, hey, listen, would you mind calling so-and-so? I've already talked to him. And they're know you're going to call. I've asked if it was okay and cross that bridge for you.